Hello there, fellow awakening apes. Today we have something really spicy for you. The topic that we will discuss will be really divisive, and YouTube won't like it. I'm pretty sure this video will get shadow banned. I will also upload this video on alternative platforms. Today's video will look into different blood types and the rhesus factor. Unfortunately, there aren't many resources available beyond mainstream science that we can rely on. So much of today's video will be purely speculative. Is it possible that there is more to blood types than mainstream science suggests? What is the rhesus factor, and why is it so important? Why does European nobility care so much about their bloodline? Might there be a connection, and if so, what blood type do the royals prefer? But first, if we want to dig deep, beyond mainstream science, we first have to see what mainstream science has to say about blood types. We first have to establish a foundation before we go deeper. So what are blood types and where do they come from? According to your school books, there are 4 distinct blood types: A, B, AB, and O. But here is a brief TED Talk that will give you a reminder of the subject.
But how do we get 4 blood types from only 2 antigens? Well, the antigens are coded for by 3 different alleles, varieties of a particular gene. While the A and B alleles code for A and B antigens, the O allele codes for neither. And because we inherit 1 copy of each gene from each parent, every individual has 2 alleles determining blood type. When these happen to be different, one overrides the other, depending on their relative dominance. So A and A gives you type A blood, while B and B gives you type B. If you inherit 1 of each, the resulting co-dominance will produce both A and B antigens, which is type AB. The O allele is recessive, so either of the others will override it when they're paired, resulting in either type A or type B. But if you happen to inherit 2 O's, instructions will be expressed that make blood cells without the A or the B antigen.
Now that we are all on the same page, let us dig a little deeper. According to genealogists, blood group A originates in Europe and B in Asia. It is hard to pinpoint the origin of blood type O, as we see concentrated clusters of O all over the world. Let's deviate a little bit from mainstream science. Scientists currently believe blood group A was the first and B, AB and O were a mutation of A. But does that make sense? It certainly doesn't make too much sense for me. Why would the blood group O be considered a mutation from A if O is deemed the universal blood? It appears as though O was present first, hence every human can receive a blood transfusion with that blood, regardless of their blood type. Furthermore, all those concentrated clusters of O's are regions with a very old indigenous population. Almost 100% of South Americans and Australian Aborigines have blood group O. In Europe, we have a high concentration of O's in historically Celtic regions. Also in the Basque region of northern Spain, we find a higher concentration of O's. The Basque region is, in my opinion, a super fascinating region because of a lot of different reasons. Here at Awakening Apes, we will discuss a few in future episodes. So where am I going with this? You will see in a few minutes, I promise. Let's talk about the Rh factor. This is when it gets spicy, in my opinion. Before we proceed and ask questions, here is a brief 101 on the Rh factor. The Rh factor, or rhesus factor, is a protein present on the surface of red blood cells. Discovered in the mid-20th century during experiments on rhesus monkeys, hence its name, the Rh factor plays a crucial role in blood compatibility and transfusion medicine. Individuals are classified as Rh positive if they carry this antigen, and Rh negative if they lack it. Similar to ABO blood types, individuals who are Rh positive can receive Rh negative blood, but Rh negative individuals cannot receive Rh positive blood. Now, can you guess which of the 2 blood types scientists believe appeared first?
Ooh, that's a bingo!
They think Rh negative is a mutation of Rh positive. Again, does this make sense? Just like how every human can receive blood type O, everybody can receive Rh negative. Why would the universal blood, also called the golden blood, be a mutation? Furthermore, Rh negative blood is recessive. How can Rh negative be a recessive mutation? Wouldn't the next offspring just become Rh positive again? Currently, 7% of the world population has Rh negative and 93% are positive. If Rh positive is dominant to Rh negative, wouldn't it make more sense that Rh negative was first and then Rh positive came and slowly took over? Are there places with a higher concentration of Rh negative folk? Yes. And the answer is almost similar to the blood type O origin story. In general, I have the gut feeling that blood type O and Rh negative have more in common than previously believed. The highest concentration worldwide of Rh negative blood is again in the Basque region, Celtic and the Berber people from the mountains of Morocco. So what do these people have in common? Well, it's believed that they were all historically somewhat isolated, preserving their ancestral blood. So what is so special about the rhesus factor? Well, for starters, if a Rh negative woman has a baby with a Rh positive man, she can get some real problems during her pregnancy, especially for the second baby. The mother may develop antibodies against her Rh positive baby. In today's medicine, the mother will get a vaccine, and that usually prevents any further complications. So again, what is so special about this? Well, this shouldn't be happening within a species. Matter of fact, this only really happens with us humans. For instance, dogs can reproduce pretty much with any kind of dog. A German Shepherd can reproduce with a Chihuahua if they overcome the vertical challenges. So are there more oddities surrounding the Rh negative topic? I'm glad you asked, because this is where we go into speculations. This is not backed by any science, and only me speculating over things I have no background in. Because unfortunately, mainstream science doesn't like talking about this topic.
And you don't want to talk about what happened?
No, it's all over.
Other than just the superficial ABORH plus minus, there isn't much more resource available. I wonder why. So let the speculations begin. Allegedly, there are characteristics attributed to Rh negative people. Firstly, the most obvious is the appearance. Rh negative people commonly have blonde or red hair and green or blue eyes. Some people say that having an extra rib or vertebra is more common with Rh negative blood. Also, it has been rumoured that the Rh negative have lower blood pressure and are colder to the touch. According to some claims, they are more sensitive to the sun. Supposedly, Rh negative people may have a higher chance of being very intelligent or have strong creative abilities. Furthermore, it's been said that they are more likely to be psychic or telepathic. There are endless more claims, but those are, in my opinion, the most common ones. Well, this is all quite wild, right? Is there any science that would back those claims up? No, not officially. Those previously mentioned attributes are categorized through Facebook polls, chain emails, etc. So please take this all with a huge grain of salt. Nevertheless, it is fun to speculate over stuff like this, especially when the last few years taught us how much we can trust mainstream science. So, let us dig even a little deeper. Buckle up, because now we are getting in the woohoo zone. Some people claim the Rh negative blood has some kind of relation to reptiles, since some attributes resemble reptiles, like the low blood pressure and cold to the touch, whereas the Rh positive closer to the monkey side, hence the warm blood. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned the royals. Now, how do they play a part in all of this? Well, it's been documented that most royals, independent of their country, have Rh negative blood. From the English to the Swedish royal families, most have Rh negative blood, and a large number of those also have blood type O. Ever wonder why the royals of Europe would only marry themselves? It seems to me that they would like to keep their blood Rh negative. So it appears that there is more to royal bloodlines than we thought. Whereas it is easy to understand how they all have the same blood, since they are all related to each other, it is a lot harder to understand how a lot of celebrities and politicians have Rh negative blood. Remember, around 7% worldwide have Rh negative. How is it that all 4 of the Beatles are Rh negative? From the 46 presidents, we know at least 20 of them have Rh negative blood. An uncanny amount of Hollywood actors and musicians have Rh negative blood as well. How can we explain this phenomenon, if there really is nothing more to the Rh negative blood? Why is there no more research done, and why is it so hard to find anything about this topic? There is one last thing I would like to mention before we close out this video. Remember when I brought up some vaccines for Rh negative mums? Well, this is a hot topic in itself. 4 years ago, I would have gotten banned, just for saying the word vaccine. So people have been doing their own digging, and it turns out the mums who received the Rh-incompatible vaccine tend to have a significantly higher number of Rh-positive babies compared to those who did not receive the vaccine. The way it seems to me is that our elites are trying to keep their blood Rh negative and want you to become Rh positive. I understand this is a far-fetched claim, and as I already said, I have no background in said topic. I also don't know my own blood type, so I'm not trying to make my blood type sound cooler. I'm just interested in this topic and would like to open up discourse, since I believe we should talk a lot more about something as important as the blood running through our veins. If you like this video, please be free to hit the like button and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next episode.